Hi, today is Sunday, February 12th, 2017, and this is a Swede Speaks. There are riots going on in Paris, or at least there were a few hours ago. I'm not sure about exactly right now. Anyway, it seems like they have been going on for several days now. In Sweden, between 20 and 30 persons in Rinkeby, a suburb of Stockholm, attacked the police during a routine investigation. In Paris, the police officers arrested a young black man, and they have since been charged with beating and raping him. That is, of course, inexcusable if it's true. In Stockholm, it seems like they just attacked the police for being there. The Swedish police received beatings and kicking, and bottles and glass was thrown at them. This is a situation which is completely unacceptable. And Sweden and France have the same problem. Segregated suburbs taken over by criminals. And this needs to be dealt with. This situation is tearing Europe apart. And all criminals should be arrested and sentenced. And if they are not citizens, deport them. If they are citizens, and if they have double citizenship, as I know a lot of people do in Sweden, and I would guess in France too, strip them of the Swedish or the French citizenship and deport them for life. I know that in Sweden you can get deported, but you will be allowed to return in 10 years and things like that. They should be deported for life. Shouldn't be allowed to come as tourists either. Nothing. And I listened to a podcast called Amerikanska nyhetsanalyser by Ronny Berggren. And recently he interviewed a police officer who works in Stockholm in about the same area as these attacks in Rinkeby. And he gives us the same picture as Peter Springare did with Örebro. He gives the same picture with Stockholm. That in these areas, these no-go zones, in France they actually call them lost territories, which maybe is a more honest name for what it's all about. Yes, you can. He doesn't want to say that you cannot go there if you are a Swedish-looking person, or even worse, a Swedish-looking girl or woman. But he says that if you hang out there for more than one night, it is most likely that you will get in trouble. It will be seen as a provocation, because, like, when a TV team was attacked in I think it was in Rinkeby, anyway, in the north of Stockholm, the people were shouting, "This is not Sweden." Well, they sure like to receive Swedish welfare, but that's another thing. But anyway, we need tough leaders to implement this. Sweden needs, for one thing, this is not going to solve everything, but a good start would be, for Sweden, I don't know that much about France, but Sweden should have a new police commissioner. It should be someone who has actually worked on the field, not a political commissar like Mr. Dan Eliasson, who has had several top jobs in the Swedish bureaucracy in different positions, but seemingly his most valuable merit is that he happens to be loyal to the power. I mean, to the politicians. And what Sweden needs is a new police commissioner taken from the police, someone who has been out on the field and who knows what the conditions are, what the situation is like. Then tougher laws are needed. I mean, not necessarily for small offenses. It depends on what kind of offenses we talk about. Driving a little too fast, no, not necessarily. But crime against persons, against their lives and against their property, there should be a much stricter laws on that. And if you're not a Swedish citizen, or if you have double citizenship, that should be reason to make sure that you cannot enter the country again. And I know this sounds harsh. In Sweden, I'm not even sure if the Sweden Democrats dare to say this. Maybe they do, I'm not really sure. But this is also called the politics of sending signals. Which signal is Sweden sending right now? Which signal is France sending? I think they're a little tougher there, but I mean, if the government and the police, if they don't take back control, they are giving these territories away to criminals. Most of them from Islamic countries, by the way. But anyway, and that's why I like the French expression lost territories, because that's what it is. And that can't be accepted. Not in a state like Sweden or France. In a state like Sweden or France, you should make sure that government has a monopoly on force. I mean, don't misunderstand me here. I am all for that citizens should be, law-abiding citizens should be allowed to own and carry guns, and they should be allowed to defend themselves. But to execute force, that should be the government's job, one of their most important jobs, and that is a job that the Swedish government is doing very poorly. And yeah, there are a lot of changes needed, and these are a few of them. If you like this channel, you could support it. You could like it, you could share it, and you could also support it through PayPal or through Patreon. I will include links for that in the box below, and hey, if you got $1, if you got $10, if you got $1 million, whatever, I'm grateful for anything. So, this is A Swede Speaks. Have a nice day.